Hello, Stephanie. Welcome back.
Hi.
Or welcome in, I should say. I want to start with just letting you know that anything we talk about here is confidential. The only exception to that is if you disclose um, harm to yourself or others or an intent to do so. In that case, I have to report. Okay, but anything else we talk about stays here. So, what brings you in today?
I'm having a lot of anxiety and frustration, within myself, but primarily with my sister.
Okay. So,
Well,
what's the
I've
problem
tried
with your
other
sister?
therapies. I've tried lots of kinds of therapies.
What therapies have you tried?
We tried family counseling, CBT, and EMDR.
Okay. And those haven't been successful for you?
They're kind of good at first, but we always go back to square one, like
Okay.
where we were,
Well, there's something I'd like to maybe throw out there to see if you're interested. It's something called narrative therapy. It's kind of where we map out your story and where the problem started and what's impacted that story, and kind of gives you a chance to.
I don't want to go into my whole trauma history.
No, you don't have to do that. Just kind of a brief highlights of where you and your sister maybe went wrong. Does that sound like something you'd be into?
Well, I do know there's power in a story.
Absolutely. We get our identities through stories, and even if it's the identity of your relationship, I think that it's a powerful tool. Okay. So maybe tell me your earliest memory or where it all kind of started going south.
Well, I grew up in Redondo Beach
Okay.
in California, and one might say I had a white privileged upbringing, but it was really hard because of my sister. That's really just kind of where it starts.
Okay. So can you tell me a little bit more? I know you don't want to go into the whole history, but maybe give me some highlights.
Do you want me to tell you my first memory?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Of her wronging me?
Yes.
So the first thing was when we both got bikes, and she of course learned to ride without her training wheels faster than I did. And then my parents, noticed that and gave her all the attention. And then eventually we both got our training wheels off. And we went riding, and I fell down this huge hill, and I knocked both of my teeth out. And she left me there on the side of the road, and I was bleeding. That's my first memory.
That's your first memory?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a pretty rough memory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So what else?
So you tell me what else.
Do you want me to go in, I don't know, there's so many things. Should I go in chronological order, or should I tell you thematically?
Yeah. Whatever comes to mind. Really.
So I would say, she left me with my teeth knocked out. And the next thing I can remember is she stole my first real boyfriend, because she's skinny and tall and beautiful, and I'm kind of shorter and I'm kind of round. And the guy that I loved decided that he just wanted to be with her.
Okay. So what's your next memory?
Well, I'd really have to think about it. Maybe I'm not being too accurate, but just off the top of my head, my next memory is that she got into the colleges she wanted to, and I didn't. She got perfect grades. She didn't even try. I had to work my ass off for everything.
Okay. What else?
Well, and to the present time, in this moment, our mom died, and apparently my parents had me be executor of this estate, and she's just treating me terribly and telling me just to give her money when she's in AA and doesn't even stick to her 12 steps. And my parents left me in charge to be the executor, and I have to figure out what to do with the family home. And she just wants money. She wants me to hawk all the jewelry and just give her money because she wants me to fund her addiction, which has wrecked her life.
Mm. It must be really hard for you. So, have you recently lost your parents then?
Yeah, well, my dad died about 10 years ago. He was a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And he was really successful, and he really took good care of us. And he died, and my mom just died last month.
Oh, sorry to hear about your loss.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, well, here I have several points. Let me see it. I've got all these points represent basic memories, right?
My memories are just
your memories. And although you haven't disclosed all of them to me, these are the ones that we've highlighted. Your bike wreck, the boyfriends, the college of choice, to the present moment, right? So this is your story. This is the story of you and your sister from your perspective. Okay?
So I have to just give you a reaction to that right now. It's interesting to see visually that there's more going on because I'm already gathering that, but I just had like a profound moment where I was able to break down that this is really the thing I'm saying to myself. No. So anyway.
No, that's a very good observation. That's exactly where we're headed with this. You have a story, and she has a story, and then there are all these other things that have happened between you or for her, that are your combined stories. And so with this in mind, what else can you remember about your sister? Maybe a good memory or something that was a positive?
Is it along like the same developmental stage or time?
Sure. Yeah.
So you could like think like this was like childhood, this is like teenager.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but when I wrecked, the only other thing that I remember is that later my mom took me to ice cream, and I felt like really loved by my mom.
Okay, I like
and
that.
Seen, even though my mom and dad mostly paid attention to her. I do remember that.
So that was a positive bonding moment for you and your mother.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then how about your teenage years?
Just what? Like about what though? Like when?
Something positive. Maybe a positive outcome or something that was good or between you and your sister.
Well, there was this one time I wrote a really great story, and my teacher read it to the class, and my sister ended up telling me later, like, I heard about your story and you must be really smart.
Oh.
That was kind of cool.
So here we have her stealing your boyfriends, but here we have her validating you as a student, as a writer. And she recognized your good work. Okay. How was your college experience?
Well, I was pissed because she was 2 years older than me and she got to go wherever she wanted. And I did pretty much too, but I didn't do like the classic thing or go to an Ivy League college. So I decided to do my own thing and went to Boulder
Oh,
and went to college. And I kind of started to feel like that I found my identity because I was like with my people for the first time. And it was people that were into the mountains and skiing and being outside. And I was like, oh, there's something else other than California.
mm-hmm. There's a whole world out there.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe if you had your first choice in college, it would have ended up differently.
Yeah.
So here's Boulder. And then what's going on now? Something more current.
What was the last thing I said?
You were in, the last thing was the will dispute.
I know, and that's what I'm in right now. And it was nice to go back to those other memories for a minute, you know?
Okay. Do you have another positive one from the past?
I was just thinking about Christmas and how she would wake me up and
Oh.
we would hurry to go see what Santa brought.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I'm going to put that one down here. So you're pretty close in age, and this has happened. Your lives have happened. You've had somewhat parallel lives. You've had your own stories, but there are links here, here, and here. You were injured and felt abandoned by your sister, but later you felt loved and cared for by your mother. And that was kind of a new experience for you? Is that right?
And then when I was thinking about it, I don't know if my sister actually left me or knew I was hurt or thought I like took off.
Maybe she took off and went for help.
Yeah, I don't know, because
So let's add another dot right there. So what you see is an alternate, preferred story. Instead of the bike wreck and the stealing of the boyfriends and the college of choice, and now the argument over your parents' will, we have a connection with your mother and your sister actually going for help. And happy childhood memories of her waking you up on Christmas morning and going to Boulder instead of somewhere in state in California and like finding your own identity. And
I wonder without her, I wouldn't have been able to go to Boulder.
exactly.
I never thought of it that way.
So your lives, because she's your sister, they're linked forever. You share a lot. And it's important, I think, to recognize that there is an alternative story. And I hope that you and your sister can repair your relationship with this alternative story in mind.
Well, thank you. I mean, what do I do now with her? Then in the next session?
Well, you can start forging a new story together.
I wonder if I could ask her if she what her memories were.
That's a good idea. And
could we both come in?
Absolutely. We do family therapy. Absolutely. Why don't we check with the front desk and see what kind of availability we have? Is she local? She live nearby?
She's in California.
Okay. Well, we can always Zoom. We could Zoom her in, and we'd absolutely be open to that. All right. Well, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.